So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week. Happy Monday. And Thomas Crollo is admitting I was so freaking wrong. Jesus Christ. Wow. Apologies, guys. Did my best as always, and I never have any problems admitting if I was completely, devastatingly wrong. And I was, sadly. If we look at Ethereum, we're going to come back to the chart. Most likely we'll talk about levels and stuff. But I really thought that, because we have these super important levels, just technicals. And sometimes they work out perfectly, sometimes not very much. So I kind of thought that, we previously were turned around by these very important levels, especially if you look at the logarithmic chart. They have been so important here and here, but now it's just boom, it just plows through everything. And quite frankly, if you look at Bitcoin, it kind of is doing all right. I mean, it's coming up on its all-time high, but it's not as explosive and not as progressive as Ethereum. So I was absolutely wrong here. Even though the D60, it was quite weak. Again, this push up is nice and all, but Bitcoin kind of is possibly going to be in the same vicinity. We'll go a bit higher, go a bit down, so it's going to just go to the side, and hopefully a lot of the money is going to go to ETH, the stuff that we've talked about. And I did tell you guys that I'm shorting in the previous video. It's so funny. People, whenever they see the word short in my title, they think that I'm short, with all I've got in the same moment, in the same price, even though I've said everything in the video. So even though I was wrong, I wasn't short with all of my money and from the same moment that the video was made, because everything was explained in the video. So I've taken a beating. So I've taken the profit on the long previously, and then I did take two shorts that I tried, and the shorts were right here off of the very important resistance level. So 3,920 and then 3,960, and then right here I got stopped out, and that's about it. So my 3-month performance, which again is something that I've been showing you in all of my trades. I've been showing you transparently. I'm not always correct, so you can laugh all you want. I'm trying to provide good content here. So I'm still up 21% in the last 90 days. I was up 49%, but then it did correct a little bit. So you cannot always be wrong. You can sometimes get shit completely wrong, and you can still make money because, hey, I'm still green. Some ice cream money, and this is public. I've been showing this publicly. And again, if you want to see all of my trades that I'm taking, and certainly yesterday I've given you also a nice trade here just on inspect. So make sure as you go, always take your profits on micro caps, because we are up 25%. So take those profits slowly as you go, because this can do exceptionally well, but just always keep that in mind. And if you want to see before everybody else my trades, and you want to get up to $30,000 initial deposit bonuses, then you can sign up with Bybit. Down in the description of this video, there is a link with all the bonuses. And with that link, if you sign up and deposit at least $500, but actually I think we lowered the threshold down to $300, there is a link to my Discord where I post a lot of exclusive content before it comes out on YouTube, and my trades as well. So if you want to be there for absolutely free, you need to deposit at least $500 into Bybit using $300 into Bybit using the link down in the description of this video. And then there is a link to my Discord down in the description of this video where there is all the instructions of how to get into VIP room and actually talk to me personally and stuff like this. So I'm pretty active there. Now, let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about why, how I was wrong and what do I think is going to be happening going forward and what's going to be happening next. First of all, I think it's worth noting that Ethereum ETFs, they're coming back, man. They're coming back strong. And I think that this is the core issue that I've miscalculated, but I will come back to it. I will come back to this idea. So just to finish the thought here, certainly I've taken a tiny bit of loss. So basically all the profit that I've taken on a previous successful trade, I've lost on this trade because I kind of increased the risk, because I really thought we're going to correct short term at least a little bit and he's going to give us a profit. But it didn't happen. But again, in this kind of a reality of the market, when it's hard for you to find a trade, or if you didn't get lucky to find a trade, like I wasn't here and I miscalculated this completely. So what I do is I still make money from my spot holdings. 98% of my money is not in futures, it's in spot. So when Ethereum has doubled in the last couple of months, I've doubled my money on Ethereum. Well, theoretical, because from the bottom, certainly my entry price average was by far not the bottom. But you get what I mean. So you should always combine futures and spots. So if you didn't find a trade in futures or you've lost money in futures, you'll make it back with spot when the parabolic market happens. So always combine strategies, please. I urge you, otherwise it's very dangerous and you can really burn yourself, get liquidated, and then well, you know the spiel. So coming back, same thing with Bitcoin. We're seeing really almost 1-to-1 purchasing power of the buyer of Ethereum and Bitcoin. 200, 400, Same thing here, 200, 400, wow. Like, they keep buying Ethereum like no tomorrow. And here's the next news, which, again, not news, but the analysis, which I kind of was used to Ethereum dumping, even though I've believed in Ethereum all the way back. You might remember I was always saying that Solana is garbage and Ethereum is great. So, and people are hating on me saying that I hate Solana, even though I don't hate it. It's just objective reasoning. With this, you know, we were so used to the price, even though Bitcoin was climbing, Ethereum was dropping. And you kind of are so used to it being so fucking weak, like a piece of shit, for whatever reason. And then it turns out that I think that they just squeezed out everyone on purpose because they know that Ethereum is going to melt faces, literally melt faces. So, and you're kind of used to it, and you're kind of a bit more short biased on ETH just because of it, because of the history and because of your fucking own experience. And then when this comes out, you kind of don't pay attention much, even though it's like in your face. But Sharplink, for example, over the weekend has acquired $200 million worth of Ethereum for their treasury. One company. One freaking company. Then this news right here. Fundamental Global files $5 billion shelf for Ethereum treasury strategy, targets 10% network stake. You know, as this Michael Saylor, you know, he started this trend of buying Bitcoin for his treasury for the company so that the company represents Bitcoin and Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. All of this. Now we have the same, but for Ethereum. And considering that Ethereum has been underperforming so long, it has been undervalued for so long, it has been so weak for so long, that in reality we're supposed to be somewhere here in the relation to Ethereum to Bitcoin. That's why if you look at relation between Ethereum and Bitcoin, Ethereum is gaining on Bitcoin like no tomorrow. A lot of possible outflows, even from retail side of things, from Bitcoin into Ethereum. That's why Bitcoin is kind of, if we'll look at a short-term perspective, we'll see that Bitcoin is kind of going to the slightly up-ish, while Ethereum is just skyrocketing. So this is a good thing. And right now we're saying that companies are raising and selling and making offerings of their own stocks for billions of dollars to buy Ethereum, and it's only getting started. I think that this could be the beginning of the up move that we expected before it didn't happen. It kind of crushed us, and now everybody's going to be like, looking at Ethereum will be like, holy shit, because it doesn't even give you an opportunity to enter properly. It just goes. I mean, I kind of called the bottom here, like 3,350. But like, I didn't go all in on it. I should have, because look, it's like a plus $1,000 on ETH in literally a couple of days from this very important order block, which we called perfectly. But overall, yeah, I think that my change of strategy here is going to be the following. And before I give you my overview and my conclusion from learning from my own mistakes here, considering that billions of dollars will be flowing into Ethereum now, and to add insult to injury, President Donald Trump democratizes access to alternative assets for 401k investors. So 401k is basically what people are building in their entire lives. It's like almost like, what is it? A pension fund. So this is where they can accumulate certain assets as they save money in their 401k throughout their entire lives. And he's opening 401k to crypto, to alternative assets and securities and a bunch of different stuff. But most importantly, digital assets. So people in their 401k will be able to buy Bitcoin and possibly other digital assets as well. And then if you're going to pay attention also to what big players are doing, look at Arthur Hayes. He just bought $5 million worth of ETH and 560,000 LDO. Who called LDO at the bottom? Well, not at the bottom, but at a very good price. Let's have a look. Where is LDO? Because I think that there has been this list of coins that I've been giving you guys, and LDO is number 1 in this list. Let's have a look. Where was our entry point for our spot portfolio? Let's have a look. Wasn't it here somewhere, 80 cents? So LDO is $1.50. So congratulations, guys. I got to recalculate how much money we've already made from this portfolio, because Pepe is up, Arbitrum not as much, Aptus not as much, but it's still standing same place. Jupiter didn't do much. Ondo is up. So we are up on half of this portfolio, and LDO is up like crazy. And Arthur Hayes is buying a lot of it. Why? Why that is, you think? And that is because LDO is the biggest staking protocol in Ethereum. So once they introduce staking into Ethereum ETF, guess, well, who's going to benefit the most out of it and could do a few X, and that's going to be probably LDO. So I've been telling you this all along. So my conclusion from all of this, my conclusion as to what I'm supposed to be doing differently going forward. I would say that first of all, I'm okay to take shorts on Bitcoin, short-term shorts. I'm okay to do so on Solana if the market permits, but I will not, and I'll repeat myself, I will not take any shorts, even local ones, unless it's a degen play for fun here and there during a live stream on Ethereum. I will only be looking for interesting setups into a long. I can hedge, I can maybe take trades, like I can take a short on Bitcoin and long on Ethereum and kind of play it this way, but I will never be taking short trades on ETH again. So apologies guys, but just being absolutely honest here. So in terms of the setups, what I'm interested in currently, so first of all, we had this just move up and up and up and up and up and up and up. So we kind of formed this, trying here again, we still went higher. We are at the local high. It would be nice to maybe come back and retest this level. I would probably entertain a possibility of starting to build a long from here. And then certainly 3,900. If the price permits, it just keeps plowing higher and higher. Like you can just hit the market order and that's it. But I don't really like doing that. But I certainly will not be shorting. So that's my expectation here. Bitcoin already told you about. We kind of have this breakout, which is nice to see. We had this consolidation breaking down, retested it, and then went higher and then kind of broke out. Would be nice to see. There was a small retest here, but it was Sunday. I just could not be bothered. I wanted to play some Black Ops 6. So I was thinking if we correct down here, maybe stand along, something like this, possibly, or go to the side. I will entertain some new trades. I'll post those in our community again. Join Bybit, or you can also join Evadex, decentralized platform, and deposit also $300 with my link in the description of this video. Claim yourself 10% cash back, because remember, on Evadex, you trade absolutely anonymously, and you will also be able to gain access to the community, but tiny bit later we're setting up the bot and all of that. So stay smart. I'll see you next video.